We are now visiting with Justine Martin, who is a teacher with the Del Paso Heights School District, now part of Twin Rivers. Thanks for joining us. Congratulations on being a 2009 Teacher of the Year.
Thank you.
Well, tell us a little bit about where you teach, and also tell us what you teach.
I'm teaching at North Avenue Elementary. I'm teaching 6th grade this year, and this is my 7th year teaching.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about your class and some of the things you do that are interesting in your class.
In my class, my students are learning this year to be college students. I'm teaching my class as if it were a college classroom. The students have responsibilities. They can go to the restroom when they want to, sharpen pencils when they want to, but they know that they have to select a good time to do it. We're also having them do presentations for science and history. Groups are responsible for teaching the class their portion of chapters, and they're really getting into it. And I'm seeing in just a short couple of weeks that they're really maturing quickly and really stepping up to taking the responsibility. The students know that they are responsible for presenting different types of information. They're memorizing their information. They don't want to go up and read it. And I think it's really great, and they're enjoying the fact that they're being treated like college students.
Yeah, let's talk about that a little bit. That's kind of an interesting concept, to take a 6th grader and tell him or her that this is how you want them to be. Now, so they're able to meet your expectations.
Yes, and I'm also teaching them how to study, and we're looking at the methods that college students use and how to read through things, how to go back and pick out important information and noting details. They're taking notes in class, and they go home and they read their notes daily, and that's the part of their study routine. And they're really developing well into it. They'll be taking their history and their science test without books. And they're preparing, and we'll see how it goes.
And how are they, as young people, rising to the challenge, knowing that you have expectations of them?
Well, I've had these students last year because I looped with my class, so it feels really good to start off a year, and the students know me, they know what I expect, so they already know that when I raise the bar, it's pretty high. And, you know, children, they will, try to reach those goals. They really try hard to reach those goals.
Tell us a little bit about maybe some of the challenges that you face as a teacher in the classroom every day.
As a teacher in the classroom, on a daily basis, some of the challenges that I face involve having an environment that a student can come into and know that this is a safe place to be. I don't have to worry about what happened at home. I don't have to worry about issues and things that are going on with parents and all the stuff that really stresses students out. I feel that they need a place where they can come, relax. They don't have to worry about what's happening at home, and they know that they're in a safe environment. There's someone there that they know they can talk to, that they feel comfortable with, and they're safe, and they can just learn and be kids.
And what about as far as motivating your students? It sounds like they're pretty motivated as it is if you're kind of treating them as college students, but what are some of the things that you do to kind of get the kids fired up in the classroom?
Well, this year what I'm doing is my students, I'm developing a program called SWAP, Students Work and Academic Program, where the students will learn how to complete a job application. They will go through an interview process, dress for interview, and then they will be hired to do a job, and they will actually receive a paycheck every month. It will not be a real check, and they will receive school money, and they will have to budget their money. They will pay bills, they will rent their desk, they pay utilities, they're paying for their lunch, and I want them to have the opportunity to experience what their parents are experiencing. I want them to be able to be prepared for the job market, because by the time they, graduate from college, it's, a real competition now. It's going to be even more of a competition then. So I'm trying to give them a head start.
So you introduce them to the realities of adulthood, really?
Yes. Mm-hmm. That is
And
the
what are their
goal.
reactions when they are learning about those types of things?
They were really excited about the program. I talked to them actually at the end of last year about it, knowing that we would be together again for sixth grade, and got their impression on it, and they really are looking forward to it. Some of them have already started planning on, they're looking at, okay, I can save this amount of money, and they're asking, well, how much is this going to cost? And then they're talking to their parents. I spoke to some of the parents at the back to school night. The children have started talking to their parents about it, and they're getting tips from parents on how to budget money.
Maybe the kids can give the parents tips.
Yes. And they're really starting to realize, now they're not working, but they ask their parents to buy me, things and stuff, and they're starting to understand now how their parents, feel, and they're telling me, now I know what it's like for my parents.
Oh, it's interesting. Now, what motivated you to become a teacher? You said you've been teaching for 7 years?
Yes, this is my 7th year
Okay.
teaching. When I was in high school, I had a Sunday school teacher who one day, when I went to Sunday school, she said, why don't you teach the class today? And I was excited and just stepped right in there and did it. And then I, from that point on, began teaching Sunday school. I actually became the superintendent of a Sunday school and even taught some adult classes. And I think it gave me a real sense of what it's like to be on the teaching end of educating someone. And through the church, I've learned public speaking at an early age, from when you're really little and they tell you to get up there and say Happy Easter, and and then you start learning your speeches. And also what has inspired me is the teachers that I had in the public school. I went to schools where the classroom's environment was really pleasant, and you knew that your teachers really cared about you, and families and communities were involved in education. And I feel that having that type of experience has enabled me to see what it is my students need, so that I can give them the same type of education and experiences that I've had.
So you've had some teachers in your past who you either model yourself after or use as inspiration in the classroom?
Yes, because I had some teachers that were, even during that time period, using some non-traditional teaching methods.
Well, interesting. So what would you say to the person out there who is considering being a teacher and is interested but not quite sure? How would you sell them on the idea of this being a really good career?
Well, I don't really sell the idea of being an educator. I truly believe that it is something that it's a calling, and I would ask that person to really look inside yourself and see, is this something that I'm being called to do? And if so, think about, am I ready and willing to step up to the challenge? Because it comes with a lot of challenges, and you've got to prepare yourself. The rewards are not always grand. It may be a smile on a child's face, and you need to make that like getting a gold bar. So I really would advise anyone that is really thinking about going into teaching is, look inside yourself. Look at the child inside of you. Look at the student inside of you. Are you the person to teach that child inside of you? And if you feel that you are ready and you can teach and give yourself, the child in you, those things, then you're really probably ready to do that for the students.
You have to be really introspective. You really have to think about it, don't you?
Yes. Yes. It's a challenge, and it's not easy, but if you really have a passion for education, it doesn't matter what it pays, it doesn't matter how hard you have to work, it doesn't matter, what type of student you get, your reward, you feel it because you know it in your heart that I am doing something good.
Well, thank you very much for spending some
Okay.
time with us. We've been speaking with Justine Martin, who is the 2009 Teacher of the Year for the Del Paso Heights School District, now part of Twin Rivers. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.